Okay, so who should review your work? I would say first of all is you, but after a break. Okay, then you're most likely to spot things that can be changed or that need to be changed. Okay. Secondly, I would say your colleagues in the lab. You have experts on techniques, on statistics, on different materials. So these are also people you can discuss your writing. When I was writing my thesis, I remember one of my colleagues, he was a postdoc there. He was the expert in data analysis and stats, and I know I had lots of conversation, with him, not just about the writing, but also what kind of analysis to use to analyze my data. But also when I wrote down things, how this analysis went, I did ask him for input and see if he can see if I did it correctly, if it's all written as it should be, and so on. So you can kind of find people that have different expertise in your lab that can help you with different parts of your first year report. Equally, a colleague who is also a peer that is a PhD student who does perhaps similar research to you, they might be, you might be able to say, okay, we kind of went through the similar literature reviews, similar papers, and so on. Why don't we swap our introduction / lit reviews and let's give each other feedback as well. By giving someone else the feedback, you also learn a lot about writing itself. So it's a good practice to do that as well. The next people that can help is also peers in other labs. They perhaps are not the expert in your field, but they can still give you an advice of if your message is getting across effectively and concisely. Okay, does it make sense what you're writing about? So that can be also kind of really useful source of information. And at the end, of course, your supervisor. They are probably the best to give you advice on your writing and on the content as well of the style and so on. I would just kind of want to say here that your supervisor might have other PhD students and they will need to give feedback on their writing as well. If he has more or she has more PhD students in the first year at the moment, then there will be, all of you will have to write your first year report. So do talk to a supervisor, make a plan, decide how you're going to submit. Is it chapter by chapter? Is it the whole first year report that you need to submit? And all of this detail you have to discuss, make a plan and arrangement how you're going to do all of that. Okay. Also, it's important to give enough time to your supervisor. There is no good. It's not good if you just go the day before and say, okay, this is my 10,000 words. Can I get feedback? Because even if they come back with a meaningful feedback, which is doubtful in a day, you still won't have any time to implement any of the suggestions. Okay, so kind of work backwards. When is your deadline to submit your first year report? How much time do you need to give to your supervisor to give you meaningful feedback, and how much time would you need also to make any changes when feedback comes in? And then you know what is your deadline when you have to finish and you actually have to submit it to your supervisor. Okay, so just make a plan how you're going to do that. Okay, another thing that we need very briefly to discuss is mistakes you can make, and one of the biggest one is plagiarism. Okay, so I'm not trying to scare anyone here, but just to say that I'm not going to say the problem, but the biggest issue with plagiarism is that it does not distinguish between an intent, and purposely you wanted to copy paste something and include in your report, and a genuine error. What I mean by that, no one would think that you will go online, copy someone's work and put it in your thesis or a first year report. Okay, no one would do that, of course not. However, what can happen that in your first year you were reading a paper, you note something down, you didn't reference it, and 3 years down the line you're writing a thesis, you saw that note somewhere, you thought, oh, this is a brilliant idea, I thought about it 3 years ago, you put it somewhere in your thesis, and then actually it's not yours but someone else's, but because it's not referenced, it is plagiarized. Okay, so you just have to be really careful about it. And I would say check out the website on the slide as well about the plagiarism, what are the requirements and so, and just kind of be careful about it. Talk to people that have expertise, talk to people that can help you and advise you on it as well. Similarly, it goes to copyright. Again, there is a website that you can check and give you some information about the copyright issues. And also, if you do have any questions, there is the email address, and please do email our colleagues in Office of Scholarly Communication. They will be, I'm sure, more than willing to help. Okay, so now, hopefully it didn't scare you off, but again, just be careful. Now we can move on to what you're going to do next. Okay, so this is the last 2-3 minute exercise. Again, just sort of write down a few kind of bits that you're going to now do after this workshop. First of all, I will check with my supervisor. I will start writing my report when, but put a deadline. When are you going to start, and hopefully when are you going to finish? I will ask the following people to help me with different things, right? To help me write, I must, and when I get stuck, I need to tell myself. Okay, so just a few minutes to write these things down to kind of help you with your next steps. Okay, before you leave, off you go, a few minutes. Okay, finally we are at the end. And as I mentioned at the beginning, there are some resources that I mentioned or I think might be useful. One of those is Science Research Writing for Non-Native Speaker of English by Hilary Glassman Deal. It's a really great book with lots of suggestions and tips on sort of writing. Again, one and only, Rowena Murray, How to Write a Thesis. Fantastic book, and there are a few others that she wrote. So please do check that as well. And again, the online writing help by Language Centre in Cambridge. There is a link there as well, so please do check it out because it is really fabulous. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Again, my name is Sonia Tomaszkiewicz and this is my email address here on slide. So please do ask me if you have any questions. If I don't have an answer, I will try to find out and let you know, and if I can't, then I will let you know that I can't, but I will do my best to figure out if you do need any help. So for now, goodbye. I really hope I see you in face very soon. But until then, good luck and happy writing.